Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caroline and today we are going to declutter our lives. Today we're going to do some decluttering of our homes, and you might be thinking, on a chronically ill channel? Really? Well, you know what? The more you declutter your life as chronically ill, the more time you will have to rest and to do the things you actually want to do instead of just always doing chores and all the things you don't want to do. The less clutter you have in your life, the better your life quality will become as chronically ill, and for everybody else, really. But before we get into it, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, like this video, share the video, and as always, you can go follow me on my Instagram. That's also called The Art of Being Ill. So the first decluttering tip I want to give you guys is about your magical clothes. And you may think, oh really, is that a good place to start? Yes it is, because if you're anything just a little bit like me, just a tiny little bit like me, you have way too much clothes and you never use it. And the beauty about clothes is that you don't have to throw it out, right? When you declutter, you can actually give it away to people who need clothes and may not be able to afford clothes. You can give it to different types of charities. Like in Denmark, we have the Red Cross, where you can deliver the clothes and people can get very cheap, nice clothes. And having less clothes will also mean less laundry and less laundry to fold. Alrighty, I hope you can see me now. My apartment is so small, sometimes it's really hard to actually film. However, taking just maybe one pile of clothes at a time, every here and there, and then put it in a bag, and then once the bag is full, you go and you donate it to charity, right? So what I really like to do, right, there's this method where it's like, how does the clothes make you feel when you pick it up, right? So you take this one, for example. I pick one out like this, and I look at it and I tell myself, okay, is this something I use? Is it something I like to use? How does it make me feel? And if it doesn't really do anything for you and you're thinking, I can't even remember the last time I wore this, don't think too hard. Put it in the donation pile, right? But if you feel like I kind of do, this is a nice top, and I actually believe that my mom gave it to me, and I use it a lot, especially during the summer, because it's really thin, but at the same time it covers a lot. And because I'm sensitive to the heat, I'm sensitive to the sun, so for me to have clothes that covers and still is very light is actually really good for me. So personally, I use this a lot, especially because it is something that sits very loose. And when you have a bowel disease, it's nice to have that kind of stuff. So this is something I would definitely want to keep. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to see if there's anything I wouldn't want to keep. And right out of my eye, no. I need to go more thorough through this, and let's face it, nobody's gonna watch me do that. So, but I think you get the idea. Declutter. You're gonna get way less laundry to do, and let's face it, we all only wear the same clothes all the time anyway, right? So it's just such a waste. And then someone else who's less fortunate than you, they can really get some nice clothes for themselves or their kids or whatever is needed. You don't have to start from one end and then don't finish till you're done, right? You can literally, like I said, you can take one cabin, you can take just one pile of clothes. You don't have to do it all at once. That's important. But I'm gonna pick you guys up now, and we're gonna go out of the bedroom. I'm gonna close the closet doors, and then we're going to move into the living room to tell you about declutter tip number 2. And this little tiny tip, well, I don't know if it's a tiny tip, but it's basically about not having too much stuff as decorations. I don't have a lot of stuff around my TV. I used to have a lot more actually, And some of the things that I have around my TV are things that mean something to me. And I'm just gonna see if I can get down on my knees here. Like this, for example. This is a water painting that my niece made for me. So this is important to me because my niece made it for me, and because I know it means something to her, that she can see that I keep what she gives me. This one my grandfather gave to me when I graduated as a pharmacy technician, which I never got to work with, but it means something. He picked it out himself, and that meant something to me. And these, I don't know if they have a significant meaning, but I love Le Creuset. This belonged to my grandmother on my dad's side, as did these. My sister have the rest of them that my niece plays with, I think. But it's Chinese tea. And down here, I have a crystal. Good energy. You can never get enough of good energy, right? And this. And I have two more. These I also inherited from my grandmothers. These two were from my dad's mom, and this was from my mom's mom. So this is clearly something that has meaning to me, and I still feel like I have too much stuff, honestly, around here, but at the same time, I don't want to throw out things that actually mean something to me, but it is something I'm thinking about. I live in a small space, so that might also be the reason I feel like there is a lot. But the point is, if you don't have too much of weird things standing around on your tables, in your windows, and like a lot of things that you use to make your home cozy, the less you have of that, the easier it is to clean, to wipe around the things. If you have a lot of stuff, you have to remove it all. It makes it harder to clean. So it will save you a lot of time, and having a home where you don't have 1,000 things standing around, it declutters your head a little bit as well, because it just feels like there's more space, more air, or at least it does for me. For some people, they love having a ton of stuff that they collected from all over the world or whatever, and that's fine. But personally for me, it makes it so much easier to clean, and it just makes me feel like I have a lot more space than I actually do. So that was declutter tip number 2. So I want to move on to tip number 3 about decluttering your home, and this time we're going to move over to my tiny little kitchen with stove and everything here, and I'm gonna put you guys down, I think. So what I want to show you when it comes to your cooking area, try to think about how many things you actually use, right? So for example, I have this pot and I use this a lot. I boil everything in this, including my morning tea water. So of course this is something I'm gonna need. But as an example, that was noisy. How many pans do I really need, right? How often do I need more than one pan? That almost never happens. So maybe I have 2, right? Because it's like, well, if you do get company over for breakfast or whatever, sometimes it is nice to have more than one pan, but usually I only use 1. So do I really need more than 1 pan? I don't think so, right? So you get the idea. Try to think about how much kitchen equipment you really need. As another example, my mom had this food processor that they didn't need anymore because they got this weird machine thing that can do like everything, including the cooking. And she asked me if I wanted it. And I was like, technically yes, because someone offers you something that is helpful. But at the same time, I already have a really good blender. I do have a food processor that I got from my grandparents many, many years ago, and it works fine. So it's like, do I really need more equipment in my home? I live in a very small space. No, I really don't. You could also do the same with plates and stuff, right? Do you need, like usually you would say, a dinner, like if you have to set a dinner table, it's for 12 people. But think to yourself, do I ever invite 12 people over? Do I really need that much? Like, just do that with every single thing you have in your kitchen. Do you really need it? How many do I have? For example, this is a soup spoon. You probably all know a soup spoon. If I only have this one, by the way. But if I had 5, do I really need 5 soup spoons? Really? And the answer is no. So I would not throw it out. I would always donate it so other people who are less fortunate than me can actually also get a soup spoon or whatever they need. So I never just throw things out, unless of course it's broken. And even then I go to the recycle station. So anyways, my point is, when it comes to your kitchen space, dishes and piles of pans that need to be, because let's face it, if you have a day where you are not feeling well and you want to boil some tea in the morning, and then you want to cook some oatmeal in that pan, and then later you want to make some pasta, but you just have no energy for anything, then you're not going to use the pot you already made oatmeal in, because then you have to clean it, so you just take another one. And this becomes a vicious cycle. This doesn't even let to be honest with you, and I don't know if this is my ADD, but sometimes I'm just way too lazy. So if I have 10 pots, I will use all 10 pots before I clean them, which makes my kitchen cluttered. It makes it unclean. So by having as few equipment as possible, you have less you need to clean in the cabinets and stuff like that, but you also have less dishes and less of everything, so that your kitchen doesn't become decluttered and overwhelming for you to clean, because you have so little that you clean it when you have used it, so on and so on. Like, that really helped. So I really hope that you could use these 3 tips, 3 tips on how to make your life easier as chronically ill by decluttering your home. And don't feel like you have to do all of this at once. No. Just take a little bit at a time. I started decluttering 2 years ago, and I am not even near where I actually want to be. I just want to say, I still have way too much stuff, but it's getting better. So baby steps, one step at a time. Whenever you just feel like it, just do it. You know, collect some piles of something and then take it to the recycle station. No panic, no stress, but it's very therapeutic, and it will release energy that you can spend on doing the things you actually want to do, and not only the things you have to do. Have a blessed rest of the day, and I will see you next time right here on my channel, The Art of Being Ill.